morning. Welcome, everyone. My name is Francia, and today's class is our Sunday morning Vinyasa. We're going to start nice and easy with a breathing practice, pranayama practice, and then we're going to move into some slow-moving postures and end up moving into some nice, easy flows or vinyasas with several postures put in, stranded in one after the other. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position to begin with. You can elevate your hips if you wish. I always remind you, just in case you forget, and allow yourself to ground down through whatever part of your body is connecting with the earth. So your sits bones, the backs of your thighs, your calves or shins, your feet, whatever is touching the earth, feel your body there, present, and completely engaged in that it's connected. And then from there, take energy and draw up through the center line of the body. So I think sometimes we've talked about the Sushumna Nadi, which is the central channel of the body. This is where we bring energy through, up, around the body, almost like, forget the name of that shape, but it moves through and then it makes a circular energy around, and then it actually continues in that motion in both directions. So this Sushumna Nadi is very important, and it parallels your spine. So as you sit nice and upright, feel that engagement here in the abdomen, front line of the body, but as well as in the back muscles around the kidneys and all around the muscles of the spine. So as we connect here, let the hands relax onto the knees or laps, soften the shoulders if you need to wiggle around a bit to get them relaxed. Let the chin lay parallel to the floor. If you'd like, you can take a moment to close the eyes and just take a few nice, easy breaths. They don't have to be deep. They don't have to be slow. They can just be your natural breath here. And just take a moment to maybe just honor whatever it is that you are feeling, whatever space you find yourself in this morning. Settling into whatever sensations arise. Try not to judge. Try not to put a positive or a negative label onto anything that rises up. It simply is. And we'll start deepening the breath a little bit more. Noticing as the inhale draws in, the belly and the chest rise. A little pause at the top of the breath, and then noticing the exhale, softening and relaxing through the muscles of the body as we release all the air out, emptying the lungs. Gentle pause, and again the cycle repeats. Breathing in. Little suspension at the top of the breath, then breathing out. Little pause at the end of the exhale, and again. Little floating suspension at the top of the breath. Exhale, fully letting the breath out. Again, deep breath in. Now working to match the length of the exhale to the length of the inhale. So we're trying to even out the breath. You can try counting for how long the breath goes in. And counting for how long the breath flows out. Doing your best to even out the breath, to make the in-breath and out-breath equal in length and pace and measure. As we continue this flow of breath, again checking in with other aspects of the body without moving your mind from this movement of breath, so keeping it steady and rhythmic there. Take a scan through the rest of the body. Notice if there's any places of tightness or tension you may want to bring your focus or attention to. And perhaps there's places that actually feel sore, or there's some sort of pain there. And perhaps there's places where you feel very relaxed and connected. Notice that those two sides of the spectrum meet somewhere in the middle. You're drawing attention and awareness to that area. And you're continuing to deepen and equalize the breath. Possible starting to add some sound to the breath if you haven't already. With the next exhale, we're going to bow the chin down towards the chest. Soften the shoulders. Inhale, draw the palms together at the center of the heart. And just let the palms gently touch, straightening the fingers. Again, connect here with inner sensations of the body. Deep awareness. We'll open the space of our practice today with the sound Om. Inhale to begin. Gently lifting the chin up, blinking the eyes open, release the arms, inhaling, drawing the arms up overhead, shoulders relax down. Nice long stretch through the body. Let's turn the pinkies in towards each other, creating an external, internal rotation of the shoulders, moving the shoulder blades apart as we reach the fingertips. The thumbs open out towards the sides. So it's almost like you want the front of your hands, or the top of your hands, I should say, to face the front of the room. And then exhale, keep the arms in that place, gently bend the elbows, lower the arms down with control, releasing the elbows back. Take the arms out to the sides, reach the fingertips, open the chest forward, and then inhale again, arms up. So we're doing this different kind of rotation of the shoulders. Turn the palms back towards the back of the room, top of the hands towards the front of the room, reach to the fingertips, feel this in your shoulders. Exhale, bend the elbows forward, move the shoulder blades back into their socket as the elbows come back. Start to lean forward a little bit, reach the arms back, extend the fingertips, and one more time, inhale. Turning the palms forward, articulating into the shoulders. Exhale, start to bend the elbows with control, engage the bicep and tricep muscles. Bring the elbows back, lean forward slightly as you extend the arms, reach the fingertips, and then exhale, release the arms down, we'll wiggle into the shoulders. Good. Let's change the position of the feet. So the other foot comes in front. And then we're going to take some nice easy side bend. So let's take the right hand down to the floor, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Find extension here in your body, and then exhale, start to bend from the side of the rib cage. So instead of leaning to the side like sometimes we do, we're going to go ahead and just bend, a little bit of a side bend here. Now as the belly draws in, the supporting arm relaxes, so don't tense the shoulder, keep it down away from the ear, and extend the top arm up, find your stretch, easy and steady. Inhale, slowly come back up, exhale, switching sides. So the other arm comes up, we're not going over to the side, we're just bending. So we're just kind of like allowing the shoulders to move over to the left as we push the right side of the rib cage out to the right. The supporting arm bends, the shoulder doesn't push into the ear, but instead moves away, and then we reach and extend to the opposite arm. Ground through the knees and legs, steady, easy breathing, lengthen through the neck. If you want to add a little bit of movement, you can. And inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, release. Good. Now for a nice easy twist, taking right hand to left knee, left hand comes around, rotate the torso a little bit, starting to kind of warm up the body easily and gently. And exhale, release, come back to center. Very gentle twist here. We're not trying to go too deep. We're just trying to feel our way through our spine. Looking over the back shoulder, grounding down through the feet and legs and sits bones. Finding a nice easy rotation, letting go of tension. And then exhale, slowly come back to center. Good. Let's release the feet and come to tabletop. We're going to start in a child's pose. If you'd like to use a prop, like a pillow or a blanket to support yourself in child's pose, you're welcome to. And we're going to separate our knees, sit the hips all the way down to the heels. So start to feel here that the tops of the feet are grounded and rooted. And if you need to elevate yourself with a block or with a bolster, you're welcome to. From here, we're going to bring the elbows down to the floor and just resettle once more. A lot of times moving into things like balasana, which we're doing now, we want to move in a steady way without automatically going right into the posture. And there's various reasons for that. It's just a way for us to move into the body with a little bit more gentleness. So as you feel better, maybe you start moving the elbows away. Or if your body's calling for the posture right away, feel free to come right into it. You don't have to wait for me to get us there. So we will all get there together. And then maybe walk the elbows a little further away, start to kind of feel how the support starts to move away from you. And you start feeling a little bit more pressure, a little bit more weight in the shoulders and in the back, definitely in the hips, especially if you're pulling back and down. The belly draws in. And as you feel ready, maybe letting the forehead come down first. See how that feels. Settling into your space. Allowing the breath to flow deeply. Unrestricted here. If you have more room, you can extend the arms a little bit further forward. You can turn the palms down and even elevate the elbows off the floor. This is going to definitely feel a little bit more in your shoulders. And then lastly, you can even lift your chin and bring your chin to the floor instead of your forehead. But if this creates tension in your neck, it's better to have the forehead down. Let's take your 5 breaths. This is Balasana, but it's an active Balasana, which means we're reaching forward and we're reaching back, simultaneous stretching the spine. So we're here not to rest necessarily, but to lengthen the torso, to set ourselves up, prepare for our downward facing dog, which is coming up in a few moments. One more breath. Exhale. And then inhale, lift the head, slide the elbows forward like we did in the beginning, just setting ourselves to come up. And then slowly press yourself up, bring the knees in, and come into tabletop position. All right, so from tabletop, we'll do a couple cat and cows. Inhale, open heart, lift space. The chest moves forward, tailbone moves up, shoulders move back. Exhale, curl everything in. Again, inhale. Opening through the space of the heart, reaching the tailbone up, shoulders back, chin forward. Exhale, curl it under. We're going to do one more inhale. Lengthening through the abdomen. Feel the front of the body stretching. Feel the back of the body engaging. And exhale, curl it under. And slowly coming to flat back. Walk the hands forward slightly, tuck the toes under, and then slowly, gently lift the knees. I'm going to hold with the knees lifted just for a few breaths, creating a little bit of fire, a little bit of engagement. Notice that the shoulders are stacked right over the wrist, so you're not moving in this back space and you're not moving in this forward space, but you're staying right and stacked over. The knees are slightly elevated off the floor. You should feel engagement here. If it's really difficult, you can bring one knee down or the other, alternating and seeing how that feels. Good morning, Tina. All right, from here, exhale, lift the knees up, extend the hips up, and find your first version of downward facing dog. So I always come into downward facing dog, especially first thing in the morning, with knees bent. This allows me to find that same length we found in Vinyasa, but with a little bit of weight in my hand. Move into the space of the shoulder blades. Keep the belly drawn in nice and tightly. Let the head hang heavy. And just remove the legs out of the equation for this first part. Steady your breathing. Notice how much weight you're putting in your hands. It's distributed evenly between the fingers and the palms. So try not to come to your fingertips here. Vina. She's like, okay, we'll do one more breath. Vina. Move, move. And then slowly, gently start to pedal out the legs, maybe one knee and then the other. One knee and then the other, just bending and straightening, bending and straightening. Keep the lower belly pulled in. Nice sway of the hips. And then maybe possibly pressing both heels down. Now this can be very difficult to do, so if you're feeling a little tired today, you're welcome to come back to a Balasana. Same idea of lengthening the spine, but now we're incorporating the leg. So if the heels don't come down, no worries, just reach them towards the floor. Again, let the head hang heavy, keep drawing in through the belly. Let's hold one more breath here. Inhale, moving those shoulder blades away from each other. Find your strength. Exhale. And then slowly inhale, look forward, come forward, knees come down, settle the feet, and let's take our hero's pose. Now we're going to find our hero's pose. If you need, Suma, if you do need to sit on something, you're welcome to find a block. From this hero's pose, let's let the hands release down, lift the chest, shoulders back. So we're going to start to work into our first flow here. We'll see how I do with Zena deciding to prop herself up at the top of my mat. Find out. The chin tucks under, the chest lifts, and we're creating a little bit of a back bend. So we're starting to feel warm through the back. Inhale, lift the arms. Lengthen up, so we're trying to go straight up towards the ceiling. I like to tuck the chin down just a little bit because it allows me to find my rib cage a little bit more. I think about lifting up to the rib cage, finding your back bend here. It may not look much like a back bend, but you're going to feel it. And then start to maybe move the arms back a little bit more, see how you feel. Keep your hips grounded, don't let yourself elevate off of your heels. And then exhale, slowly find center. Release the arms. Take a moment, wiggle it out. All right, hands back forward. Tucking the toes under. Lift the hips up, find your downward facing. Now this time from downward facing, pressing the left foot down, right leg up towards the side, three-legged dog. Pointing through the toe, belly's drawn in. Moving the left heel in towards the floor. Inhale, look forward, and then just slide the right foot forward and straighten out both legs, coming into pyramid. Here the block might come in handy if you want to hold on to it, bring it in front of the toes so you can have a place to lift. If you don't need it, you can have fingertips down on either sides of the right foot. Draw the left hip forward, right hip back, and straighten both legs. If the right knee begins to bend a little bit, just move that right hand leg back and try to extend it as best you can. Reach at the top of the head, belly's drawn in, pyramid pose. Now, if you feel good, take a nice moment here to elevate that left heel and press it back down. Let's do that 3 times. Inhale, lift, bringing weight forward to the right foot. Exhale, heel down. One more time. And exhale, heel down. Slowly bend the right knee, plant the hands forward in front. Slide the left foot back, and let's come into a lunge. So this first lunge, we'll start with the left knee down. Keep the left toes tucked under, and let's just stay here for a few breaths. We're trying to create space in the front of the left quad, left hip flexor. Again, lock, very handy. You can place it in front of the toes, or you can place it behind the heel so that you are able to lift up just a little bit here. Don't want to find yourself too high. Just allow yourself to be enough so that you can, find security, stabilization in your posture. We'll hold for just a few more breaths. Maybe moving the chest forward. And now, right now, that left toe is tucked under, the left knee is down. We're going to make this a little bit more active in a moment. Not yet. And then exhale, let's take the weight back, straightening that right leg, lift the toes off the floor, and you can stay here, finding your stretch there. If you like, you can walk your hands back, keep your left toes tucked under, and see if you can sit onto that left heel, nice and slow. If you're able to sit, keeping the right hand down on the floor, and we can take the left hand to the right foot, and see if we can fold a little bit of a stretch. Don't worry, we're going to repeat all of this on the other side. By the time we do it, you'll know exactly where to go. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, slowly release, pressing yourselves up, sliding the right foot forward, and take your lunge once more. All right, I think we're ready to add a little bit more activity to that leg now. So we're going to tuck that left toe under, press into the leg, and then finding the lifting lunge. See what happens, see where you can go here. If possible, plant your hands down on the floor, either on either sides of your right foot or on the inside. Either way is fine. Wherever you are, hold one more breath, lift the chin, shoulders back, hips down and forward, strong left leg. Exhale, right foot steps back. Find a high plank. Stay there for a couple of breaths. Find the engagement of the shoulders, the core, and then we can release the knees down and take chaturanga. Elbows hug towards either sides of the body. Lower yourself down and hover. Inhale, open up to upward facing. You can keep your knees down. You can allow your hips to sway. Just finding opening here. Lift the chest. Shoulders rolling back. Steadying the breath. And then exhale, tucking the toes under, pressing up through the heels. Downward facing dog. All right, let's stay here for about 3 to 5 breaths. Connecting to earth through the soles of the feet and palms of the hands. And we're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. So go ahead and do 2 more breaths here. Okay, gently, we're going to bring weight to the right foot. Then we're going to lift and elevate the left leg up, pointing to the toe, lengthening here, finding your 3-legged dog. Reach and stretch, try to square out the hips, keep reaching to those left toes. And then exhale, we're going to take that left foot forward, plant it down, not too far, close the distance between the feet, and find your pyramid pose. Again, using the block here, if that's something your body needs, to at least maybe in the beginning, or you can just have your fingers tenting down on either side of the left foot. So we want to bring the left hip back, right hip forward on this side. And if that left knee is bending, move the left hip back in space to make room for the left leg to straighten. Lift the chest and shoulders, extend through the body here, settle in. Belly's drawn in, nice long torso and spine. And now we're going to lift that back heel 3 times. So inhale, up with the heel, keep the toes down, weight forward to the left foot. Exhale, lower the heel down. Inhale, gently come up. Exhale, lower it down. You can also have your palms down if they reach. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Good. Bending the left knee, you can slide your foot and hands forward a little bit, sliding your back leg back, and we'll start with the right knee down, right toes tucked under. So again, block definitely brings a sense of ease to not have to reach for the floor. If you have the block, it can be very easy to kind of find this lift here. But if you want to challenge yourself, keeping your hands down will definitely be a little bit of a challenge. We're allowing ourselves to move the hips forward and down, and again, bending the fingers, another option. Steady the breath here. I'll open the chest and shoulders. This side will stretch into the right quadricep, the right hip flexor, and imagine your pelvis moving towards your left heel, kind of the direction you want it to go. And then keeping the right toes tucked under. As we exhale, we're going to slide the hips back, lift the toes, walk the hands back. Take your time here. You want to feel the stretch in the right toes. As we slide that left heel back, we can sit on top of the right ankle. This feels okay. Then bring weight to the left hand, right hand to the left foot, and then let's take a fold here. It's okay to round the back. It's okay to kind of just find yourself gently folding forward. Be very mindful of those right toes because there is some weight on there, so we don't want to overdo it. And inhale, lift the head. Exhale, release the hands, pressing ourselves up, sliding that foot forward and back into that same lunge as before. Now we're going to take that lift so the right toes stay tucked under, straightening through the leg, and finding our lunge here. Now that back leg is nice and straight. Again, you can use the block or the fingertips to come a little bit higher, dropping the hips down, press the back heel, strong back leg. Steady your breathing, lift the chest. Now press strongly through the arms, and then exhale, we're going to slide that foot back, and we find ourselves into our high plank once more. Stay there, shoulders separate. Steady breathing. You can chaturanga from your toes or from your knees. I'll demonstrate the knees. Exhale, hug the elbows, slowly lower the chest, chin forward, hover. Inhale, sway yourself up. Maybe this time you can come to the tops of the feet so the knees don't stay down, but they can engage and elevate, relax the glutes, shake out the waist and hips and glutes, and just allow yourself to be here for a moment. Open the shoulders back. Try not to collapse forward, but lift and open. Exhale, curl over the toes, elevate the hips, downward facing dog once more. Steady breathing here. Let the head relax so there's no tension there. Calm, deep breath in, slow, easy breath out. One more steady breath, just like that. Exhale. With the next inhale, lift the head, slide the hands back towards the feet. So now we're in our forward, standing forward fold with the feet apart. Soften the knees for a moment, let the rib cage come to the sides, hold on to opposite elbows, and let's take a hanging forward fold here. I always sway or rock just because it allows me to connect with the hips and to feel security within my feet. And once you've done kind of with some movement, if you're adding movement, then you want to try to find stillness. And as soon as you find that stillness, you start to really kind of re-engage through the legs. So for me, that means lifting the quadriceps, lifting the kneecaps, lifting the tailbone, trying to straighten my legs as I allow my body to fold right over the legs. Now your forward fold may look very different from mine. It's okay. Our bodies are different. Our postures are going to look slightly different. But allow yourself to just be in the integrity of the posture, wherever your body is. You don't have to be in a full forward fold. You don't have to have your legs fully straight. But you do have to try to attempt to move into the deepest space in your body today. One more breath. Inhale. Rolling the weight forward to the feet, to the toes. Exhale. And then release the hands. Lift the chest, shoulders back. Open up the feet. If you feel like for Malasana, you may need a block. You may want to place it between your heels, slightly behind the heels. And then we're going to take a nice, easy Malasana. I'm moving side to side here. You don't have to, but if you do feel like the body needs to kind of rock a bit before you go into the posture, you're welcome to do that. When you feel settled, you can allow the hips to come down. The arms are on the inside of the knees, and we're finding a nice steady malasana here. So the soles of the feet are flat. If your heels are really highly elevated, you can place a blanket underneath them so that you can find support there. If it doesn't bother you, it's okay for them to be up, but it's definitely going to strain into your shins and into your ankles. So just notice and be okay with whatever it is that you find. Let's hold here just a few more breaths. Again, the block underneath you will provide you support because you're actually sitting on it. Lift the heart and chest, shoulders back. Press the legs again away from each other, so with the inner arms, so the triceps there. And then we're going to move the arms forward to find balance. We're going to bring some weight to the legs, and we're going to try and come to standing. So let's see how that goes. Inhale, press into the feet, start to elevate, slow and gentle, coming to standing. Good, very nice. All right, you done. All right, so good thing we came up. We're going to try to come down in the same way. So reach the arms forward. It's going to create counterbalance. Keep the toes pointing out, so toes are slightly off of your mat. Grip your mat with your toes. Belly's drawn in. Exhale, start to bend the knees, come down. Open the knees strong. Keep the arms leaning forward. Slow and easy, gentle and steady, squatting down. And we're back in Malasana. Good. That's not that easy to do. So if you weren't able to do it, then you are in good company because a lot of people are not able to do that. In fact, for many years, that was not something I was capable of doing at all because of my knees. So I'm grateful that now I'm able to, but it doesn't matter. If you felt like that was not for you, then you can just bring your hands to the floor first and come into a traditional Malasana in a different way. But we're going to try it 2 more times just because we work in threes. Arms reach forward, strong legs, belly drawn in. Inhale, pick yourself up. Exhale, get back to the arms. All right, toes are still pointing out. Your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. Keep that in mind as we move forward. All right, let's take it down. Arms forward, knees open out to the sides. We're coming into the squat, slow and gentle. Keep the heels down, don't let them elevate. Hips lower down, slow. And come into your Malasana. Hello, hips. They may be talking to you here. You may feel like they're doing a lot of extra work today. Don't worry, we're going to settle into a couple of pigeons in a moment and get them to release a bit. All right, last one. Arms forward. Find your core, find your feet and legs. Inhale, push yourself up. Come to standing. All right, good job. So now we're going to come back down to Malasana and move from there. Inhale, arms forward, strong feet, belly in, bend the knees. Start to move your weight down. If you're coming into a squat, you can adjust your feet if you need to. And lower down, slow. Find Malasana. Good job. Wow, Tara's pretty good. Tara's crushing it back there. All right, from here, release the hands. Come forward, release the hips up. Let's take another forward fold. This time, bring the feet a little bit more parallel to each other, underneath the hips, hands behind the ankles or shins or calves, and see if you can pull people. Using the arms and shoulders as leverage to pull yourself into the forward fold a little bit more. And exhale, hands come forward, walk them forward, find your downward facing dog. Moving into our pigeon pose, looking forward, right knee comes forward, settle the foot down, settle the left knee. I'm going to use a blanket to support my hip, so I can place it by my right hip. If your right hip touches the floor, you don't need it. So let's start here with a simple movement of the left leg back to find where our limits live. And then as you find yourself supported here by your arms, start to move the left hip down and then the right hip down. And just notice where it is that the tension comes from. For me, on this side, a lot of it is here in the front of that left hip flexor. So if you find that it's there, it might feel nice to let that left hip drop down towards the foot and kind of bring more weight to the left. If for your tension is in your right hip, it might feel nice to go the other way. So play with it so you see where your body needs for you to be. Let the left foot reach back, and every once in a while you can extend that left knee back a little bit more to allow that leg to really straighten. Now place your prop underneath your right hip if you're going to use it. You don't want to be too high, but you also don't want to be too low. So you want to make sure that you're being supported there. And then we'll let the elbows come down. We'll try to even out the two hips. So now we're not leaning too much left, we're not leaning too much right. We're kind of even here. And if it feels good, maybe just like in our first asana, you can slide the elbows forward and bring the forehead to the floor. And we'll just be here for maybe 5 breaths or so. We're not going to be here very long, so you don't have to, worry about making too much adjustment. It's okay to be within the discomfort of the asana. As long as there's no sharp pain, you're okay. The discomfort allows for growth, flexibility, strength. Keep that back leg, the left leg, that's extended back, nice and engaged. So don't let the heel kind of flop out. Keep pressing the top of the foot into the floor, lowering the hips down. One more breath. Good. With that last exhale, we start to lift the head. And with the inhale, we walk the elbows in. We settle back here. Take another few breaths. Maybe placing the hands on the floor. We lift and elevate the chest. Lifting the shoulders back. And we'll do just one more quad stretch here. So keep the weight in the right hand. Bring the left hand back towards the left leg. And then if possible, bend that left knee to grab the foot, if that's possible. If not, no worries. You can just add a little bit of the twist. And then from here, we're going to draw that foot maybe a little closer to the body. See how that feels. That's a deep stretch. And then exhale, release. Hands on either sides of the knee. Slide the left knee forward. Slide the right knee back. Take a moment to switch your prop over to the other side, hold where needed in a moment. And then slowly tucking the toes under, pressing up to downward facing dog. Here's a place for us to observe how the two sides of the body feel very different, perhaps. Pinpoint where those differences are, acknowledge and observe without judgment. All right, we'll set up for the second side. So just bringing the left knee now in between the hands, letting the foot kind of place itself wherever it's going to be, and then sliding the right knee back, sliding the left knee out as the right knee moves back, keeping the hands underneath you for support. And once you feel you've gone as far as the body will allow, you can release the right toes. And then again, just like on the other side, a little bit of wiggle, moving into the left hip, moving into the right hip. See, on this side, because it's my left side that tends to be tighter, I feel this more here in this outside left hip. So for me, kind of feeling this energy of rotating the thigh out can be very helpful. But if you feel it on your right side, bringing that right hip down towards the foot might feel nice here. Where that felt nice for me on the other side, on this side, bringing the left hip down actually feels a little bit better. So play around with it. Find your happy place here. And then we're going to go ahead and set up with our prop. So we're going to slide that to make up for the space between the thigh and the floor. Make your elbows, allow them to make their way down towards the mat. And then once you're there, reassess that back leg because it does like to shrink a bit. Reassess the left knee because it does like to come in a bit. Settle into the sensations of the body. You can continue to add a little bit more wiggle, a little bit more movement, but try to even out the hips more. And then sliding the elbows away, let the forehead come down. Settle in here for maybe another 5. Always check in with the jaw and the shoulders. These are usual places for us to hold tension without us even realizing it. So as soon as you settle into the state of the asana, then give yourself the opportunity to scan through, find places of tension, and make a conscious effort to soften where it's not needed. So right now, tension is needed in the back leg. We need to have that tension there to find the stretch, to find the strength to hold this asana. Tension is not needed in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, mouth, the eyes even. So those areas can soften. One more deep breath in. Slow, easy breath out. With that exhale, lift the head. Walk the elbows in as you inhale and stay here propped up onto your elbows. Just a few more breaths. Try not to come out too quickly, but instead feeling our body as we move through. Hands down onto the mat. Elevate your chest and find yourself in the posture once more. Opening the heart space. Again, that back leg super engaged. We're going to bring the left hand weight onto the left hand and then the right hand back. And maybe you just stay here in this little kind of side twisted rotation. If possible, we bend the right foot up, bending the right knee, and we hold on to the foot. Sometimes just holding on to the foot is enough for us to feel the stretch in the quad. If you need a little bit more, you can start pulling it in towards the body. But don't force and don't fight with your body. Go where your body allows you to be. Keep your weight grounded into your left side. So left hand, left knee, left hip. And then exhale, release the foot. Hands back to center. You can move your prop out of the way. Slide the right knee in, slide the left knee back. Find yourself in tabletop once more. And tucking the toes under. Exhale, downward facing. Beautiful work here for the hips, you guys. One more breath. Good. Now we're going to make our way to seated. So you can cross your feet at the ankles, knees come between the hands, slide the feet forward, let the hips come down, come to seated, extend the legs, and find Dandasana position. So just to even everything out, the legs are nice and strong, quadriceps contracted, kneecaps lifted, feet flexed. Hands right next to your hips, not behind, not in front, but right next to the hips. Sometimes when we straighten the arms, we push the shoulders up. So what we want to do is allow the shoulders to move back and down and lift through the rib cage and torso. So we're really trying to elongate the space between our hips and the top of the head. So keep the neck long, don't tuck the chin in, don't lift the chin up. Just find yourself in a nice parallel position looking down the tip of the nose. There's a lot of engagement here in the back muscles to move the shoulders back in a way to try and keep the arms straight. The insides of the elbows point forward. And then exhale, take a nice easy forward fold, Paschimottanasana, grab the big toes, and surrender yourself down towards the legs. Again, we're not trying to pull with the arms in this posture. We're trying to surrender. We're trying to fold deeply. The hands holding on to the toes is almost just like a second nature, just to connect something to the toes, to the area of the hands and the fingers. So we create this loop of energy that moves through the entire body. If you can rest your head down all the way onto your shins, great. If it's floating like mine, that's good too. Relax the back muscles, steady the breath. Moving the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the abdomen and torso. And inhale, lift halfway. Extend the body, create sense of space. Keep the legs drawn in towards each other. Don't let the feet flop out. Exhale, release. Beautiful. I'm going to spin around. You don't have to. You can just lay where you are. But I'm going to spin around and lay all the way onto the back. All right. Good job, you guys. So coming to the back, keep the knees bent, taking a nice, easy resting pose here. One hand at the belly, one hand at the heart. Notice and observe. We're going to do some nice supine twists to end our practice with today. So let's start with the feet wide apart, about as wide as your mat maybe. Arms are out like a T. And then we're just going to drop the knees to the right and look to the left. In this first one, maybe the left inner thigh or the left hip flexors or the psoas on the left side is going to be feeling a lot of this tension. But be very mindful of your knees when we do this. Try not to force. I'll give you an option here in just a few breaths to make this a little bit more intense, only if your body calls for it. Otherwise, you're going to stay right here where we are, letting gravity help move the body into its place. But if you want to intensify this posture, you're going to take the right foot on top of the left thigh, not the knee, but the thigh. And then again, find your twist. So this just gives you a little bit of extra weight on top of the left leg, moving the left knee down towards the floor. One day, maybe it touches, maybe not, but you're still moving in that direction. Take just a few more breaths. And slowly exhale. First, releasing the right foot if it's on top, back to the floor, and then gently coming back to center. Good. Take a moment to do a little windshield wiper here, and then we'll repeat on the other side. So finding ourselves back at center, feet are about as wide as your mat, arms extended out like a T, tailbone tucked under. Drop the knees to the left and look to the right. So again, just finding where your body needs to be. Sometimes we feel this deeply in the area of the kidneys as well, or the side body. So just feel where you need to feel and be there. Remember, when we add the leg weight on top of the right leg, it's an option. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do any of this, actually. You could have laid in Shavasana the entire time, and that could have been your yoga practice. But if you do want to try to take it a little more intensity, let that left foot rest on top of the right thigh, and then let both legs relax down. Find your twist once more. Or maybe if you're not ready to add the leg, you can just stay in the first version. All right, if that leg is on top, you're going to make the effort to lift that left foot off, bring it back to the floor, settle back into your twist, and then inhale, come back to center using your strong core, a little windshield wiper here. Okay, we're going to do one more version of this supine twist. Let's give the arms a break. Bring them down by your sides. Bring the feet together. And we're going to take the right leg up and over the left. So we're going to cross the legs at the knees, just like you're sitting cross-legged. And just take a moment to tuck under through the tailbone, lengthen the spine. Then we're going to take both arms up overhead, straight if possible. And then gently take both knees over to the right. So the right leg is almost guiding that left knee down. Keep your left shoulder down and just let the legs way down towards the right. A little bit different than what we're used to, because normally the arms are extended out. So here we're using a little bit more strength in the core to find the twist, and we're directing the twist down towards the hips a bit more. One more breath. And inhale, slowly come back to center. Now release the arms out like a T, and we're going to drop now towards the left, look to the right. So more traditional version of our twist. Try to get both knees to come down. You can actually even use your left hand to guide the knees down towards the floor. Settle the right shoulder down. Try not to lift the right shoulder off the mat. Keep the right arm grounded. One more breath. And exhale. Slowly come back to center. Extend the right leg up in the air. Point, flex the foot. Maybe move the ankle around. And then exhale, release down. Good. Do the same thing on the other side. Left leg crosses up and over. Arms up overhead. Reach back and up. Back of the hands on the floor. And then slowly take the knees to the left. Keep both shoulders grounded. So you're starting to feel this tension happening in the abdomen. It almost feels like a crunch even though you're extending, you're really trying to pull in through the belly to really create the sense of tension to hold the legs in place. And then you're just kind of gazing up towards the ceiling, letting the weight of that left leg draw the right knee down towards the floor. And inhale, slowly come back to center. Now release the arms out like a T and drop the legs the other direction. So both knees fold now to the right. And we look to the left, keeping the left shoulder down. You can use your right hand to help guide those knees down a little bit more, but make sure that left shoulder stays grounded. Stay there. And do one more deep breath here. And inhale, slowly making your way back to center. Plant the right foot, elevate the left leg, point, flex, move into the ankle. Give that leg a little break, and then release back down. Beautiful. So just to even out both sides, we're going to do a little bit of a bridge, so you can plant your hands on the floor. Either hold on to your ankles or your heels, or just press your palms down to the mat. Tuck the tailbone in, inhale, elevate the hips, and push and wiggle into the shoulders. Hold your bridge pose here. Steady, calm breathing. Press into the legs, try to get the hips really high up. Chin, chest are moving in towards each other. I guess the chest towards the chin more than the chin towards the chest. And then keep the hips elevated, knees parallel, strong legs, hips up, and exhale, lower down. Beautiful. All right. Let's go ahead and take our Shavasana. So let the legs extend out, relax the feet, relax the arms, relax the shoulders. Come back into the rhythm of your breath. Deepening the in-breath, slowing down the out. And gently you'll notice how automatically, just from our stillness, the breath kind of started to do its own pairing. Notice how the depth of the inhale and the length of the exhale are pretty equal. And if not, if they aren't, we make an effort to equalize. Notice and observe if there's any places of tension or tightness or turmoil you may want to breathe into and soften. From here, if you like, you can add a little gentle movement to the fingers and the toes, the hands, the feet. Wrists and ankles can start to move and sway and turn and crack and pop and all that fun stuff. And then you can bend your knees, maybe take a full body stretch if you like, and then go ahead and lay onto your side. I'm going to come to the side body here. I invite you to stay with your eyes closed until the end of our practice today. Keeping your focus and your awareness inward. And then inhale, slowly pressing ourselves up to seated. Take your time. Find a comfortable cross-legged. We won't be here for very long because you want to feel comfortable enough to sit upright for a moment. We'll just take a few moments of gratitude. I know we sometimes put it into our practice, but I want to do it intentionally today. Sometimes when there's things that happen in our lives that we have absolutely no control over, it can really throw us off. And we can use our practice, our yoga practice, to become one with our intention, one with our awareness, and one with our bodies. And as long as we stay rooted and grounded, then these things may be able to kind of throw us a little bit off course, but we can always come back. And the way that I find myself coming back is by really focusing on being grateful. And so just for the last few moments of class, maybe you can go into a list in your mind of things that you are grateful for right now. They don't have to be very big things. It could simply be the fact that you're breathing in clean air, that you're breathing at all. It could be the fact that your heart is beating, that you're in a room, in a house that's warm and dry, that you have clean water to drink. It could be the most basic of things, that there's someone that loves you, that there's someone that you love. Anything at all that comes to mind, just allow that to fill your heart, just for the next few breaths. Continuing with that feeling of gratitude as it expands and grows, not only filling your heart, but your whole body, and maybe even starting to fill the room that you are in. Connecting with that deep sense of gratitude will draw our palms towards each other, symbolizing the union of our bodies, our mind, our spirit, our soul. Connecting with that within. Take a deep breath in and prepare to close and seal our practice with one last sound, Om. Inhale to begin. Namaste.
Namaste.